Hi, and welcome to our webcast of September 2, 2016. My name is Christian Lebré, and this is Amy Asbrook, the director of Toujours Vivant, Not Dead Yet.
Hello.
Toujours Vivant, Not Dead Yet is a non-religious organization by and for people with disabilities and our allies. Our goal is to inform, unify, and give voice to the disability rights opposition to assisted suicide, euthanasia, and other ending of life practices that discriminates against people with disability. Today's topics: Square, project value, hashtag, sorry. And the second one is the euthanasia deception. So Amy Asbrook will talk about it now.
Okay. Project Value is a Facebook page that features videos made by people with disabilities to challenge the popular idea of what it means to be disabled. The page's sponsors state, as we enter the complex discussion in Canada about doctor-assisted suicide, we worry that Canadians are only getting one side of the disability story, that death is a natural choice for those poor, suffering, disabled people.
Yeah, poor us.
Right. But this story doesn't speak to the experiences of many with disabilities. In other words, it's a very limited idea. It's a very backwards idea. And it doesn't talk about the reality of what people with disabilities live, because we have full and active lives that aren't about suffering. They aren't about being poor and isolated, except for the fact that because of discrimination and because of barriers, sometimes we are isolated, but that doesn't mean that we don't have full lives.
And the trouble is that the disability
Right.
is the society. What does the society take care of us or not?
Right,
But
exactly.
the disability itself doesn't mean anything.
Right, it's that society erects barriers that make it difficult or impossible for people to get out into the community or to live independently. But that doesn't have to do with the disability. To organizers, the project seeks to explore a different perspective, to share stories and experiences that contradict the narrative that disability is a fate worse than death. This is about projecting the value of disabled people. So it's showing that disabled people are valuable in our society, and it's showing people with disabilities talking about their own lives to show how they're valuable.
Okay.
The project aims to reach out to young people and recently disabled people to show that it's okay to be disabled. So if somebody becomes disabled, oftentimes they have all these preconceptions about disability, and so they become disabled and they immediately think, oh, my life is tragic, my life is over, because, being disabled means that your life is ended. But so this idea is to show people another side of disability, the side that means you can live fully and have a full and meaningful life. And those videos made by disabled people are to show this other side.
And it's very efficient.
Right. Project Value posted its first video on July 25th and has since posted 16 videos by disabled people. So it's been operating for a little more than a month, and there have already been 16 videos put up by different people.
And you have to take care that it's very difficult for disabled people to show that, because sometimes it could be dangerous for them if they live in a care home of any kind, because sometimes the trouble came from the home where they are.
Right, and so all of the people who've posted videos live independently, and live in their own apartments or houses with personal assistance services to help them. So that's why they feel free to make a video.
Yeah, because they control their own life,
Right.
Which is not the case for
everybody. Right. It's not the case for everybody, but It's also to give people an idea that this is possible to live independently. Each video begins with a description of the person's diagnosis, prognosis, and a description of their functional limitations. And that's always done in with a blurry image of the person. So you focus on the diagnosis at the beginning. Then the person talks about the quality and value of their life beyond their medical status. And that's when the picture becomes clear of who the person really is beyond their diagnosis. So literally the picture becomes clear, and also figuratively you get a clearer idea of who the person is beyond just a lot of medical mumbo jumbo about how disabled and unable the person is. You realize that despite all that, the person is very capable of living a full and meaningful life. People who have posted videos include Catherine Frazee, Ing Wong Ward, Tracy Odell, Etta Ginsburg McEwen, Norm Kuntz, and Tim Rose. And there are a lot of other activists who posted videos. Those are just a few of the people, and most of them are activists in one way or another for disability rights. Up until now, none of the videos is in French. And I put out a call, I translated their call for videos into French, and I asked them to put that up in French. We haven't heard back from them yet about that, but hopefully they will. And hopefully they'll have other French people making videos on their website so that it can be a little more inclusive.
We probably had some French subtitle in front of English one, and we will put some English subtitle over French one if it's happened.
Right, exactly. Project Value is looking for more disabled people to contribute videos. Go to www.facebook.com/projectmyvalue to view the videos and for more information about making your own video. So that address again is www.facebook.com/projectmyvalue, all one word.
And making video means you. We need you.
Right. You don't have to have been done anything extraordinary. We're looking for people who are just living ordinary lives to show that despite a disability or with a disability, people can live ordinary and fulfilling lives. It doesn't have to be anything special.
That's what we do.
Right,
exactly. Me and myself.
Right, exactly. The next item is the euthanasia deception. And the euthanasia deception is a 1-hour documentary featuring powerful testimonials from Belgium and beyond of people who were devastated by the false ideology of mercy killing. So these are people who have all been directly affected by euthanasia or mercy killing.
Yeah.
And have all been affected negatively by this false ideology that it's autonomous decision, that it's compassionate, and that safeguards protect people.
And if you think that Canadians are better than Belgium or people from Netherlands, don't think like that. It's false. They are as evaluated as us, and they are as human as us, and they do mistake, we will do.
Right, exactly. According to the documentary's producers, the film aims to expose 3 main deceptions of doctor-assisted dying. First, that euthanasia and assisted suicide are a form of compassion. And the idea here is the people who promote assisted suicide say that it's compassionate because it relieves suffering. But the thing is that when people are suffering, first of all, if they have physical pain, they need palliative care. They need pain management, not to be killed. The only goal of killing people is to kill them, it doesn't end suffering. It kills the person, not the suffering.
Yeah.
So,
And that's not the way for most of people. And even for a very difficult case, there is solution like sedation.
right. And there's a lot of quote unquote suffering that isn't physical pain. People have to come to grips with having a disability and learn that having a disability isn't a fate worse than death, and you don't need to be killed to come to that conclusion. People need support to live with a disability, not to be killed. And also, other kinds of suffering, people feel less dignified because they have a disability. Again, people need support, not to be told that they'd be better off dead if they were disabled. So that's not, it's a myth that it's compassionate. The second myth is that of autonomy, that decisions made between doctor and patient operate in a vacuum. So the people who promote assisted suicide act as if there's no external influences, that there's no family, that there's no society that pressures people, that there's no other influence. But
it's false.
That's false.
Yeah, because I know people who have some suicidal in their family, and this had suffered quite a lot, sometimes since 30 years, and is still suffering about that.
Right.
This is not an alone decision. If there is family around, you hurt somebody if you suicide yourself.
Right. And it's a myth that assisted suicide is gentler than other suicides. It's still the same kind of loss, and it's still the same kind of disruption to a family. Even if it's euthanasia, the person is still going before their time, and they're still saying, "I don't want to live anymore," which is what suicide is. Then finally, the third myth is that government safeguards can truly protect vulnerable people.
This one is a very good one. It's never happened in the world history.
Right, exactly. As we know, we have government safeguards that say you should only drive 100 kilometers an hour, and nobody abides by that. So how are we expecting the government safeguards to protect people with disabilities and other vulnerable people to work?
You could try. Most people will comply, but quite a lot will not comply.
Right.
And this is the part of danger for those people.
Right, exactly. The speed limit is important for safety, but this is a matter of life and death whenever people don't comply. And so we already know from the Netherlands and Belgium and other jurisdictions that the safeguards don't work. And this documentary points out ways in which the safeguards don't work. Testimonials include Professor Tom Mortier, whose depressed mother was euthanized without his knowledge. So he found out by a phone call that his mother had been euthanized, and he hadn't been consulted about her request or whether she was eligible for euthanasia. He just found out that he knew that she had always been depressed and she was sometimes suicidal, but he didn't find out about her euthanasia until after it happened.
Yeah, she was suicidal. And where are the suicidal prevention teams where
Right.
they are not there when you ask for assisted suicide?
Right.
So
exactly.
suicide is for everybody. Go, suicide yourself.
Right. Right, exactly. Another testimonial is from Hendrik, whose grandfather's death was hastened without request years before his time. So again, he wasn't ready to die. He had a prognosis that said he was going to die in a few years, but the hospital decided to hasten his death before he was ready.
Yeah, they probably need a bed for somebody else. That's not the point.
Right.
Okay, you still be able to live a happy and productive life if you are disabled.
Right.
And if they kill you before you harm somebody, and if it's yourself and your family, or even the guy who do the suicidal for you. If you could call it suicidal, I call it murder, but whatever.
Right. And a lot of people, even if they have a prognosis of terminal illness, they need time to get their affairs in order. They need time to say goodbye. And that time is very important to them to settle things with their family.
To them and their family.
Right, and not to speed things up by suicide. There's also a testimony from Lionel, who is routinely asked by Belgian strangers why he will not euthanize his severely disabled daughter.
This is cruel.
Right, exactly. They act as if his daughter were just disposable because she's disabled, and she's a part of the family. She's a human with the same equal rights as anybody else, but people act as though she's disposable because she's disabled.
Yeah, like a dog. Kill the dog. He broke his leg, so he's finished. Kill him.
Right.
We are not animals.
Right. Also, there's a testimonial from Mark, an MS survivor, who is grateful that there was no law allowing him to kill himself when he was diagnosed many years ago, because he says he would have taken advantage of that law and he would have missed out on certainly his change of attitude about life.
Yeah, when you become disabled, you have kind of a grief to do to go to a certain point that the life become happy and normal again.
Right.
But
people change their values about what's important in life, not just so much accomplishing things, but
yes,
being in relationships with people. And that's what Mark found in his life that he would have missed if he had committed suicide with assisted suicide.
So if somebody asks you a question about suicide, when you are in a weakness situation, you may answer you may have the wrong answer.
Right.
And this could be very dangerous.
Right, exactly. And finally, there's a testimonial from Christina, a nurse who shares her remorseful experience with assisted death. With expert analysis from both medical and legal professionals, the film reveals the serious long-term implications of assisted dying laws and proves that all of us become vulnerable when end-of-life care is handed over to lawmakers. So the idea is when these decisions are made not by doctors and just by lawmakers whose bottom line is budgets and that kind of thing, it makes us all vulnerable.
Very, very vulnerable.
Right. The release of the euthanasia deception marks the launch of caringnotKilling.com, a new global resistance movement which utilizes the power of film and social media to combat misinformation being presented by the mainstream media. The movement resists the acceptance of euthanasia while providing data to resist its legalization. And so the idea is now that there are certain jurisdictions where it's legal, we need to resist. That's why we call ourselves the resistance. And in order to resist, we need to collect data on how the program goes here where we are, and to share that data with other places where it's not yet legal, because we need to show that the safeguards really don't work.
Yeah, because the world need some information about the truth, what exactly happening when this law is applied or applied.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yep.
apply. This law not working properly.
Right.
When you select people, you make a class of something, you always discriminate.
Right. Caring Not Killing is also dedicated to providing support and assistance to individuals through compassionate community care services to help people who need advice concerning medical treatment issues or who need protection from euthanasia and assisted suicide. And that's an important step, because it's one thing to work on policy, but individuals are affected by these things. And we need to help people protect themselves and respond to people who are in need. And that's what the Compassionate Community Care Initiative is all about. And that's something that the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition has started with the release of this film. The film is produced by the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition in association with Dunn Media and supported by contributions from organizations and individuals throughout the world. A version with French subtitles will be out in late September. So we've already spoken to the EPC, and they're working on the version with French subtitles, and that's going to be coming out later on in this month. For more information, visit the website at www.vulnerablefilm.com. So that's www.vulnerablefilm.com. And you can rent the video, you can buy the DVD, you can either by renting or buying it, have a showing for other people. And, you know, we admit this isn't supposed to be a balanced video. This is, there was a documentary that came out on HBO that was supposed to be a debate on assisted suicide that was really propaganda.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a balanced video, and this we don't say it's a balanced video. This is
we say it's against
assisted suicide. Yeah.
It's obvious, which the other side doesn't do. They always say, oh, it's balanced, which is not at all.
Right, right, exactly. So this is definitely one-sided, but it gives you more information than you get with other videos that are supposed to be balanced.
We never hide anything, and in our video, the source are always traceable, and are possibility to verify it, which is not the case of the people who work for the assisted suicide, and they say, oh, that case or that case, and they never go just over and look what's happening.
Yeah. Let's not get into the accusing people of stuff.
But I do.
Yeah, okay.
Personally.
Okay. For more information about the subjects that we discuss here, go to facebook.com/toujourvivant, not dead yet, all one word. You can visit our website at tvndy.ca. You can email us at info@tv-ndy.ca. Or you can follow us on Twitter @TVNDY. Thanks very much to Christian for helping out.
Thank you, Amy.
And thanks to you for being there.
Take care.
Until next time.
And we need you for video.
Right.
Take care. Bye.